Well, the reason I ask this question is because, or the reason I go that route is because I think the sister was just doing her influencer thing and trolling, and just
Absolutely.
making short.
Absolutely.
I don't think she was interested in anybody that would have been presented to her, not on a serious note. I think that takes us to more of another issue, which is not another issue. It's the same issue. It's just a different method of doing the same thing, pushing off marriage. Because the idea now has become, let me chase the bag. Chase the bag. I mean, and this is for men and women. This is not something that is secluded or so unique to women. This is something that men do as well. It's like, but we have had this way of thinking for quite some time, where it's like, let me chase the bag because I'm finna get a family. That's the reason why we're thinking about, let me make a career, let me make some money first. And I'm not sure it's the exact same thing for women. The women are not chasing the bag to procure a family. You know what I'm saying? To take care of a family. They're chasing the bag for different reasons. So I don't think that this idea of pushing off marriage is a good one. I had a conversation with a brother who thinks it's a wonderful idea that women continue to push off marriage, or individuals, men and women. He's like, I would never tell my son to get married before 25, 26, 27. And I'm like, that's the craziest thing, because at those formidable years, not only do you have the energy to endure mistakes, you have the energy to rebound from the mistake that you may have made inside of a relationship or inside of life, mostly inside of life. I think the relationship mistakes one are going to make, you're just going to make them regardless. You know what I'm saying? At whatever age you are, you might learn faster than others, but for the most part, we all going to make mistakes in a relationship, and we got to learn. But in life, those mistakes can hinder a relationship. They can break a relationship. Money is one of the main reasons why marriages don't last, because of financial situations. So I totally disagree with the idea of putting marriage off. I think that you should marry as soon as possible. And when I say that, I don't mean at 18, now that you're able legally to get married, then now you just go and get married to any old body. I believe that before 18, you should already be having your mindset to become a husband. Before 18, you should already be having your mindset to carry the attributes of a wife. That way, when you come together in union with someone else, or the person that you're going to be meeting, both of you are ready to explore the downfalls and the pitfalls of marriage, because there are. I mean, it's just, marriage ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? Marriage is tough. It's hard. It's a continuous fight that you got to wake up for every day and know you in for a 24-hour round. You know what I mean? Every day. And that it sounds terrible, but the thing about it is that when you win that round, you feel that much better about what you've been through. You look forward to continuing on in the fight, because you can look back at the previous rounds won. And that's not a thing that I think is not only not promoted. I don't think that's talked about. I don't think anyone's telling you, hey, when you get married, you expect these things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And expect these things with the mindset set on, how do I endure it? How do I cure it? How do I overcome it? Not the thought process now is, expect this, and then when it happens, leave. And for men, it's more so, expect this, and when it happens, lawyer up. Be prepared to defend all your things, all your commodities and everything that you've accumulated over the time and being married, or over the time of before you even entered into the marriage. So I think that marriage is something that has taken a quite negative shift in life. It used to be something that was looked at as, man, I can't wait to get married. It's beautiful. I'm going to have me a beautiful wife that I believe is beautiful. She's going to have a handsome husband whom she likes and loves and believes to be something pleasing to her eye. To now it's like, nah, later for that. And if I do it, I ain't having no kids. I ain't having no children. If he not ready to go and have his stamp his passport, then we ain't gonna talk about. It's like the things that we talking about don't make no sense when it comes to what marriage is about. And I think that's a question I want to ask. What is marriage about? What is marriage really about?
From our perspective?
You can
Or
give me your
just
perspective at the moment, and I guess if you don't want to give me your true perspective, then I'm open to taking what the Bible says.
wait, what was it? Wait, what was the first part you said?
The question is, what is marriage? Like, what is it about? What is what are we looking forward to when we look inside of marriage?
I would think that we were, looking for someone to live life with, someone to share experiences with, share yourself, share ideals and beliefs, and someone that you will have when you're old, on your deathbed, someone that's there to hold your hand and tell you that it's okay. I think that's the basics of it.
That's the basics of it.
Yeah, in my opinion.
And now I'm saying, as far as being basically what you're saying, a life companion, a lifelong companion.
More than that, a
Okay.
lifelong companion could be a dog. It could be a fish.
Okay.
Um, someone that it is more than just companionship. It's a business partner. It's a friend. It's a clown. It's a conglomerate of so many different things. I can't just put like one stamp on it and say like, yeah, my husband is this one thing. Like it's so much more than that, than
Well,
just a
I hope I'm a lot
companion.
to you. But what I'm saying is when I'm asking about express to me the dynamic of marriage today. All right. Yeah, give me today's dynamic of marriage and how people view it. And then I guess we'll go into what it ought to be.
Okay. I will say today it is companionship temporarily. Someone that makes you feel good in the moment, someone that makes you feel good in the moment. I think that once things get hard and tough and one side is no longer happy, I think that that's the reason, um, or that's the reason that people use to leave. So I think that it is mostly temporary companionship.
So today's marriages have been reduced to temporary companionship. Am I correct in assessing what you just said?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I agree. And I think it all stems from what we started off talking about earlier with the story that Isaiah gave about how he complimented a sister that he saw to have what he would believe to be wifely attributes. And immediately, an elder woman came through and began to tell her to not practice that in so many words, to go out and have a good time, go see the world, kick it and parlay. This idea of whoredom is running so rampant inside of society that it is choking out everything that we love. Everything that we love is beginning to be choked out. We look at what's called a whole phase today, right? That was just, it wasn't a phase back in the day. It was, you are this. If you're practicing this, this is what you are. You practicing this called being a whore by biblical terms. So for no one to be thinking that we're using vulgarity here, this is a biblical term. So it's called being a whore. And being a whore was not anything that was seen to be acceptable. But today is very much so acceptable. It's very much so acceptable to say, hey, yeah, I had my whore phase in college. Now that phase just don't go away. And I think that's what we all missing, because the psychology behind that, or the science behind these practices that we do, don't just all of a sudden get erased out of our brain. We create what's called mental loops. These things become practices that our mind crave. Now it has attached itself to this specific chemical that our body creates, serotonin, whatever it might be. That chemical might be. Our body becomes attached to it. So you don't just wipe that out overnight because you said, "Oh yeah, I'm married now." The moment you go through something tough, now your body is looking like a crack fiend because it wants that chemical now. Versus being able to seek that same chemical from another place. We've attached that chemical to something dirty, bad, detestable, instead of attaching that chemical to something good, glamorous, and it's going to help. Well, I don't say glamorous, good and prosperous. Something that's going to help us to move forward inside of our marriages now. So we look at people, not just women. We look at people who are getting into marriages and then something go wrong and immediately they default to what they practiced back in college or high school. And that's not going to carry you anywhere. And I think that that is a major issue inside of what we see or call marriages today, is that there is no real stick to it inside of marriages. The idea of being committed to a thing or to a person is nasty, gross, and icky, as the women say. It's an ick. You know what I'm saying? So all these things are only continue to push us away. How then do we begin to grab back hold to what marriage truly is and begin to work inside of that area?
I just want to touch on one thing that you said. There's no stick to itness. There is a lack of patience overall going around. And I don't know how many Black men with daughters are listening, but I think that y'all need to hear this. Stop spoiling your daughters. Stop giving your little princess everything that she wants. Stop it. Because all you're doing is creating a woman that is going to be conditioned to believe that a husband has to do exactly what my dad did, or a husband has to do exactly what my dad did for my mom, when those are two completely different scenarios. Your father is not your husband. Your father was a husband to your mother. They have their own relationship, and however they choose to do it is between them. You're a child, and now you've grown up conditioned to believe that whatever you want, you should have it because that's what daddy did for you. Oh, my dad gave me everything. My dad took me on shopping sprees. My dad took me out the country. That was your dad. Don't expect your husband to do what your father did. And I think that a lot of times people say like, "Oh, I want a man that was like my father." Okay, I think that that has a certain, or that should stop at a certain extent. When I was looking for a husband, or praying for the Most High to give me my husband or give myself to my husband, did I have in the back of my mind, I want a man like my father? Not exactly, because there were certain attributes that I saw in my father that I didn't want my husband to have. There were also very positive attributes that I think, would have been beneficial. I don't think that it's a tit for tat, side by side comparison, because your dad is a grown man who chose to make those decisions, to who chose to do these things. So find you, somebody that can do that for you. But I just think that men need to stop spoiling their daughters. And I think that women need to stop coddling and mentally making their sons their boyfriend when they single. Sometimes not even single. I've seen women, that are married that make their son their husband. Their son is the most important thing in the world to them. And if their son is 17 years old and he starts courting a young lady, oh, she got a problem with that. He ain't good enough. She ain't good enough for my son. How do you even know? How do you even know? You haven't even taken the opportunity to really sit down and understand this young lady, because you're so focused on somebody taking your precious little boy away from you. So y'all need to stop it. Mothers and fathers, stop doing that to y'all babies. That's it.
If you got something, go ahead, Isaiah. We've been talking for a minute.
Nah, it was a few things. It was like a little minute ago. I was kind of in transition, so nah, I agree with what the sister just said though, man. That's a major part of it, man. Is uh, the first teachers to to these little these little humans that eventually become adults, man. We condition them for things that we may not be able to see in that moment because it's our precious baby, and they grow up and they carry these things and they're unable to operate in a normal relationship that flows with nature like they ought to. So nah, I agree, man. I absolutely agree.
Yeah, I agree to it, and it's not anything that's going to be necessarily easy because the idea when you're a father is to give your family the things that you didn't have. 'Cause that's the constant progression of elevation. That's how you constantly elevate is by the next generation of father continuously seeking a way to provide what he didn't have to his young ones. And it's so hard. I ain't gonna act like it ain't because I have a daughter, and it's so hard to think about having to restrict her in certain ways or hold back certain situations or things from her as she gets older because of the fact that we set our offspring up with the wrong narrative in mind when they're looking for someone to take over. The scriptures say that a husband supposed to leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife. So we're basically saying the scriptures are telling us that when we're departing out of the house that we grew up in, we're now finna go to a place that's what looks something like what we grew up in, or is it a blank canvas?
Mm.
And I think that we've taken that to say that we're supposed to be leaving the house that we grew up in, going to something similar, like almost exactly the same. Where we're expecting the same treatment, we're expecting the same outcomes, we're expecting someone to care about the things that our mother and father cared about. That person may not care about that stuff. That may not be anything that they're inclined to want to talk about, look at, or even examine. I'm not saying they should be that way. I'm not saying they shouldn't care about the things you care about as your wife or as your husband. What I'm saying is that initially, or it's not common practice for them. But your parents, that was common practice. You got into something. Oh shoot! How can we help you get into that? Now I gotta learn about it. I want you to know to be the best in it. That's not that guy may not do that. That may not be his first default action. He might, in all reality, tell you, hey, is it really worth your time? You know what I'm saying? And keep real with you. And you might not like that as the wife because you're looking like you're supposed to be my protector, just like my dad was. You're supposed to be my provider, just like my dad was. And that comparison of just like my dad was can become a heavy weight for a man. And I think that we as men have not taken time to examine that to prepare our young ladies for marriage. So I like the idea, and I'm glad that you really kind of brought that up inside this conversation for real.
And I just want to make something clear. I'm not saying don't spoil your kids. Don't you do what you do inside of your own home. But one thing that my dad did for me was tell me, I'm doing this because I'm your dad. Your husband does not have to do these same exact things because he's not me. He grew up in a completely separate house with a mother and a father that taught him who he is, essentially. And then he grew up and he learned who he really was. So I grew up knowing that every man is not going to treat me like my dad. So I think that that's the part that I think I want people to take home is love on your children. Do what you got to do for your kids. If you want to buy them a new present every week, every day, that's between you and your pocketbook. I'm not, policing that. I'm just saying as they grow up, make them well informed that the things that take place inside of this home is inside of this home. And when you go outside of this home, everybody may or may not have the same standards, and that's okay.
So you
That
saying that by that conversation, that stemmed the tide on your expectations? Like instead of it being like, "Hey, my dad bought me some a new outfit every 2 or 3 days." By that conversation, that made you aware that, hey, my husband may not do that. He may not buy me a new outfit or outfits every few days. He might buy me a few outfits every other week or something like that, or he might bring me some jewelry every uh, grand situation, like birthday or stuff like
Mhm.
that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, basically. I mean, it just taught me that every not even just men, people in general are not going to treat me the way that my parents treated me. I'm their child and I'm an only child. So I got literally whatever I wanted. To this day, I'm a married woman with 2 kids and I'm still getting whatever I want from them. So, but I know that that's specifically in regards to my parents. You know, I'm not going to go out and go to the grocery store and meet a random person and expect them to treat me the same way that my parents have treated me.
So basically, we have to re-examine our expectations inside of marriage today. Is that one thing that I could write down as far as a solution to the problem of why marriage is not high in demand right now, or not truly highly in demand right now?
I would say, yeah, in a sense. I don't want to say have no expectations. I don't think that people should be, picking up the bottom of the barrel. Hey, if that's what you do and you a fixer upper, by all means, fixer up. But, I say have some standards, some base some baseline level of expectation. Yes, I think that everyone should have standards. I just don't think that it should be to me that is something that you discuss with that person. You lay it out in the beginning. Hey, this is what I expect from you. Is this something that you are able to do? You know, or if not, can we find a compromise? If you're not willing to compromise, then maybe we need to rethink this thing. But I think
Yeah.
that that's something that both people need to have an open and honest conversation about in the very beginning. I think that people are going into relationships and they get into that puppy love and everything feels good for the first 6 weeks and you really feeling each other, and then life happens and now you have nothing else to fall on, or you're holding this person to a standard or you have an expectation for this person that you never discussed with them. So they don't even know that that's an expectation. There are people, men may say I need my wife to cook 3 hot meals a day. But then you get with a woman and you see that she eating out every day. You see she door dashing every day and you don't say anything about it until y'all engaged, or y'all married and y'all living together now. And now you have this expectation for her to cook 3 meals and she didn't even know that that was an
Well, and
expectation.
see now, just speaking about that, and I think that that's due to the fact that um, rushing into relationships. You rush
Hmm.
into the relationship, and the thing that was most important to you at the time was that I'm getting some on the regular. It wasn't the fact of, hey, what kind of wife is this going to be? Is she going to suit my demands or my preferences? And I throw both words out there because I think that we all demand things from one another. My wife, or whoever I'm in a relationship with is going to demand certain things from me. And it's not a terrible thing. It's not a terrible thing that someone is telling me, hey, this is what I'm expecting from you. I'm putting a great deal of stock in the fact that you're going to accomplish it. So that's really a demand. You know what I'm saying? And expect a high expectation. These two things are go together inside of a relationship. My wife should be able to expect things from me. I should be able to expect things from her. She should be able to demand things from me, and I should. And these things are within reason, of course.
Of
These things
course.
are not astronomical things that you should be asking for, knowing that it's not that's not within her realm to accomplish, and vice versa. But these demands or these expectations should be placed on the relationship, and I don't think people will really take time to assess that early on. What they're more so assessing is the physical gratification that I can gain. I'm not speaking totally to sex. That could be to going out every weekend, me and her, or just me by myself. Is she gonna allow me to do this? Or that does boil down to sex as well. To, hey, is she gonna allow me to do this, that, and third tomorrow? And same vice versa. Is he gonna do this to me? Is he gonna be that very sexually explicit person that I'm looking for? All that gets pushed to the forefront, and all the other important things get pushed to the back, like what you just brought up. I want my wife to be able to cook, and yeah, she need to cook every day. That's what I look forward to. I'm gonna be home for breakfast, and I want her to pack my lunch, and I want to come home to a hot dinner. You've been with this woman for 7 months. She ain't made you a meal, yet you putting a ring on her finger, all because she did something nasty to you that you liked. This has torn down all of this whoremongery, all of this harlotry has torn down that institution from the inside all the way out.
Man, if it's something that I could add, I wanted to add it earlier, but something that you just said, it's speaking along the same lines of what you just said. But earlier we spoke about dating and what dating really is. And one thing that I wanted to add to that is, I think dating, I'm trying to think of the right word. It pretty much, it would like redirect our intentions when we going into these relationships, because it's like, so really, if I'm even really, I think what it should be is that if I'm going to meet somebody, my intention should be, I'm looking to make her my wife. I'm looking to see if we are going to be compatible to be husband and wife, and if we can live together. And I'm thinking long term, forever. Like, we ain't never leaving each other. It's to the death, and that's how you should go into it. But I think what dating has allowed is for our intentions to just be clouded, to be like, hey, we just dating. And then, like you said, bro, in the midst of that dating, a couple weeks go by, man, things is gonna happen. Temptation is gonna find itself in the midst, and things are gonna happen. And then, so you never really go into. So I think people are getting into these dating situations, and then it's like, oh, we go together, or what? It's like an unspoken thing where we together now. Yeah, we talking. And it's like, there was never no real intention from the get-go. It was just like, oh, I like her, she like me. She like, oh, he funny, he this, he got this. And there's no real intention to find out, hey, what kind of woman is this? Can she cook? Does she even like cooking? What kind of woman is she?
Like, all that.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, all of that, man. So I think dating is like a root cause for that, because it makes it so where you don't really have to have no real intention. Versus how it really should be is, nah, hey, you come to her father and we're going to sit down. This is business. We're going to have a discussion. Hey, what's your...
Is that just me, or did he just...
No, I think he in the matrix.
But nah, hey, I'm going to say this before, hopefully he can hear me. But they're going to call us misogynistic for all so he needs to be ready for that in the comments. But I agree. And, I don't want to be called anything negative that I don't believe applies to me. But if that's the shoe that I'm going to have to wear, because that is the right notion to bring to this discussion, that's just what it is. That's just what it is. I'm sorry, hey, that's just what it is. Because when you sit up and you already come into a thing where I like them, for whatever reasons that meet you at the front door, be it the way they look, be it the way they smell, be it how funny they are, all of that stuff does not produce loving families. That's not what produces a loving family. What produces a loving family is the ability to work hard and stick to something. That's what produces a loving family. The ability to see that there is something higher than myself and my own desires. That's what produces a loving family. All that I like them and this, that, and third, and they look good. Look at the way her lips popping when she put that lipstick on, and look at the way I like the way his Jordans fit him, his J's, all that. Hey, yeah, like
Nobody is saying that.
I'm just saying.
I know.
Saying. Somebody is. Please believe. Somebody's sitting up there thinking, man, Joe, look at the way his shoes. They just, he must just got them. They still crispy.
If that's you in the comments, let us know, because I don't think anybody out there saying that.
They thinking that, believe that, and off the fact. I mean, you got men who get sex for less.
Yeah,
they get. I'm talking about. Hey, he took me to Wendy's. Now he getting something. Or anything. I'm just throwing out examples, but these are true live examples. You know what I'm saying? So everything he just said was really on point, and I think that. Oh, shucks, hold on. I think that is really important